bunch of flat earthers went to Antarctica to finally prove that the Earth is flat or round by observing the 24-hour sun, and what happened is actually the perfect thing to get people out of their odd beliefs. Like really, psychologically, this was perfect. You're telling me that a bunch of people are out there living my dream, get a trip to Antarctica because they're delusional? Yeah. In case you're unaware, because of the way the Earth tilts and how the sun hits it, we end up with 24-hour suns on the North and South Poles. We do have lots of videos of 24-hour sun in the North Pole, but not many from the South Pole, in part because it's just really hard to get there. The South Pole is essentially a desert, and many falsely believe that people are not allowed to travel there because of a 1959 treaty. No, that treaty was between 12 countries and just said that it needs to be used for scientific reasons and not military reasons, and no one can claim it as their own territory, but it's only 12 countries. Hypothetically, any other country not in the treaty could try to set up base. But you wouldn't want to do it. It is really hard to get there, and staying there is nightmarish too. Because of the lack of rainfall, that means that the South Pole is also really sensitive to environmental degradation. So yeah, there's reason to want to preserve it. Now, I don't know if you've met anyone who believes in a flat Earth, but there are lots of them. I've heard a lot of interesting theories on how people justify it. One is that the Earth is moving upward, and that's why we have gravity. Some others would think that there's just like a flashlight that's shining around the Earth, and that's why we get light. And some of the really interesting ones were when people believed that there is a local sun or a local moon. But I do have the question as to why pilots don't have to avoid the sun when flying. Never gotten a clear answer to that. And the saddle-loon thing is just hilarious, that satellites are just being held up by helium balloons. Look, the amount of extra work you have to do to believe in a flat Earth is a little much. Knowing the kind of mental gymnastics that people have to do to be able to believe in it, I'm surprised that some of the people who went on this trip, some of them being pretty prominent in the community, agreed that yeah, the Earth is round, not all of them. They were probably surprised to find out that there's not a giant ice wall. One of those people who has walked back is Robbie Davidson, a guy who put together flat Earth conventions, wrote books on it, finally agreed and told everyone that the Earth is, in fact, round. That in itself is amazing. Now, if you know the psychology behind why people believe in these things, what they did was actually perfect. There's a lot of reasons why people have funny ideas, but one of them is just their peer groups. They're going to believe what their peers think, their trusted peers, and that's going to influence their beliefs. It also influences our morality heavily. But you can change somebody's mind if they're given new information and a trusted authority tells them to believe it. I had a roommate in grad school who worked on political opinions, and they found that if someone was watching the news and it's their trusted news source, they're only going to believe it coming from that person's mouth. So having a leader, yeah, that's going to help a lot. People also tend to believe in conspiracy theories if they tend to be an intuitive thinker. So somebody who believes in luck and superstition, that can also make them prone to believing things that aren't really real. Feeling that there is an inherent danger can also influence it. It's a way of getting people to feel they have a little bit more control. And of course, the people who end up being leaders in the community tend to be pretty darn narcissistic. Having an inflated ego and grandiosity can make you prone to trusting yourself rather than reality. And by the way, we have known that the Earth is round for a very long time. We knew it before somebody decided to travel around the Earth, which has been done many times. But no one ever said that these beliefs were logical. What's the weirdest thing you believe? Also, again, I'm just really entertained by saddle-loons. Of course, it didn't convince everyone, but people will always find some reason to continue believing what they believe. What shocks me most is that people are able to change their minds based on new evidence, which I understand, according to research, it can happen. I just don't see it all that often.